This is the Dallas Morning News.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.
Hello, and welcome to Eat, Drink, DFW, the podcast from the Dallas Morning News food team. Each week, we take a look at food and drink trends in North Texas, talk about restaurants in Dallas-Fort Worth, learn some new recipes, and sometimes even get tips from you, our listeners. I'm Anna Butler, the Dallas Morning News' food editor. This week, the world's only Michelin-starred taqueria is popping up in the Dallas area, and later, we're getting into just what the winning fall flavor is in the great state of Texas. That's all coming up right after this.
Central Market is really into food. Like, when we say cheese, it's in 12 languages into food. Butchers, bakers, and sushi roll makers into food. We're talking so obsessive about quality you can shop blindfolded into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then let us turn your shopping list into a treasure map. Get inspired, get adventurous, or just get a chef-made dinner when you've got more taste buds than time. No place makes every meal more amazing like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
For the latest food and restaurant news in Dallas-Fort Worth, visit dallasnews.com/food. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. Today, I'm joined by Sarah Blaskovich, Claire Baller, and Imelda Garcia. Imelda, we have to talk about El Khalifa.
We have to, because guys, this is a great moment for tacos in Dallas, Texas, because we are receiving the visit of El Khalifa de Leon. It's the only taqueria in the world with a Michelin star. So we have to go, guys.
Wow.
Maybe we could record a podcast there.
I'm so excited to try this place because obviously I've never been, but also what are Michelin-starred tacos? You know, we all love tacos, right? But these have to be better than all the tacos we've ever had, or so you would think.
Yeah, and the secret, I think, is in the meat. They have this specialty that is called taco gaonera. It's kind of a cut of beef marinated in lemon or something that is very secret, as you can imagine. So this is the world's best taco according to Michelin. But guys, there are some chisme.
I love chisme.
Yeah, in Mexico. Because, okay, they won their star on 2024, right? And then the grill chef quit because he said, you know what? You are treating me like a grill cook, not a chef. And then the owner, Mario Hernandez, he said like, come on, you are not a rock star. Everybody thought that the tacos will lose quality or something, but no, they won a star again this year. So we have to go and see what these tacos are about.
Imelda, what would you expect out of Michelin-starred tacos?
Flavor. And you know what? It's a taco that is so simple. It's a tortilla with a piece of meat and it's not even chopped. So the flavor must be amazing.
And this is popping up in the old Red Stick space across the street from Southern Methodist University on Hillcrest, which is kind of fun. I feel like that's a good use of that space, at least as a temporary thing. I know it's going to be a limited menu. They're not going to be able to bring all of the El Khalifa classics here. I've been multiple times before. I went before they won a Michelin star, which is very fun. And I'm really hoping, though, that limited menu doesn't have a correlation to the salsas being limited too, because the salsas are phenomenal. It's like a smorgasbord of salsa.
Oh, wow.
Anna, do you remember what you ate?
Yes. I ate the signature sirloin beef, but I got it wrapped in cheese. And I will always add cheese. Then I'll also typically add mushrooms to a lot of the street tacos.
Wait, I'm interested in the wrapped in cheese, but I don't quite follow. The piece of beef is wrapped in cheese and then put in a tortilla?
It's like a keto taco. So you don't need the tortillas.
Ha!
And you can totally still get it with a tortilla, but they basically make a disc of cheese that cooks. It's like the crispy good parts of nachos that burn onto the plate when they stick them into the broiler, but they make a tortilla out of that and then wrap it in there. It's a little like a queso flameado, but it's been pushed further.
In Mexico City, we know that as chicharrón de queso.
My mouth is on the floor. Wrapping anything in cheese is really going to work for me. That sounds so good.
I just don't know if they're going to be able to do that in University Park.
Yeah. I mean, the people there want to cut calories like the rest of us.
No, it's more like, are they going to bring that much complexity to a simple pop-up that's just there for 2 weeks? That's my qualm with it.
Just a parking tip for anybody going over to the near Snyder Plaza area. Parking can be really challenging there, but there is a parking garage in the bottom of that newish tower at the corner of Snyder Plaza. And that's where you should park to walk over. I know that's a boring thing to say, but those of us in Dallas trying to go get great food, if we can't park, we get mad. So just a tip.
Hilltop Plaza is the new building that Sarah is talking about. And then if you do go after banking hours, you can park in all of the reserved banking spots right there. And then you can go to DL Max afterwards to get pizza after you've had a cheese-encrusted taco. Well, other than tacos, let's talk more about steak. Sarah, you found out what's going into the Old Morton space in Uptown.
Yes, and I know you don't want credit, Anna, but you did help find what was going in the Old Morton space. We worked on this together.
This is me searching city permits on a Monday night at about 8 o'clock and messaging Sarah about it.
Yes. Yeah, so Anna was looking for something else, and then she's like, oh, holy cow, I think I stumbled upon a whole other story. And I was like, that's absolutely true. I will call the chef immediately.
And holy cow is right, because it's going to be another steakhouse.
It's going to be another steakhouse in the beefiest part of Dallas. Seriously, within a mile.
Uptown would be so angry about that.
I know. But within a mile of North Pearl and McKinney Avenue, which is the corner where this steakhouse will go, replacing Morton's Steakhouse, you can find nearly every big name steakhouse in town. You know, there's Nick and Sam's, there's Fearing's, there's STK, and there's 3 times as many. It is the steak area of Dallas. And now we get another one. It's called Andreas Prime Steaks and Seafood. And Andreas is named for its chef owner, Andreas Kotsifos, who spent more than 40 years working all over the world, including in Paris, Rome, New York, Palm Beach Island, Florida. He's from Greece. So he's, just been all over the place. And he most notably in Dallas worked as the executive chef of the Palm. Oh. May it rest in peace. When he worked at the Palm, which was at one time Dallas's most iconic power lunch spot, I think he recognized how great the uptown downtown area was for a restaurant. And when he moved to Texas, he first opened restaurants in Corsicana and in Allen, which, as you know, are not uptown or downtown Dallas. And so the first Andreas Prime Steaks and Seafood is in Allen, and the second one now will be in this bustling part of uptown Dallas.
Will there be any signature menu items for the Dallas rendition of this restaurant? Anything that differs from the Allen one?
It's a good question, and I don't know yet what exactly will be different, but he says Dallas is going to be a little bit more upscale than Allen. Now, I find the Allen menu to be quite upscale on its own. There's foie gras and caviar and a crab and avocado appetizer that everybody seems to love, oysters, many cuts of steak. I believe there will be more cuts of steak at the Dallas location. But, in general, you're looking at a fine dining experience here at the former Morton's, now going to be a new and different steakhouse.
Sarah, I'm putting you on the spot here, but do you think that the uptown area has the appetite and capacity for more steak?
I don't. I think that there is peak steak. Now, I don't think that's Andreas's fault. I think that this steakhouse will come in and perhaps do just fine. But will all the others do just fine when you add one more into the mix? Maybe not.
It does make me wonder, too, if it could actually make Andreas more competitive as a local player, because so many of the restaurants that we have in Uptown are chains. And I feel like they probably don't want to be defined as chains if you're a Perry's or the Capitol Grill, because they're great places and they're tasty. However, I typically would take someone to something like a Nick and Sam's or Andreas to be like, hey, you can't get this in another city.
I do wonder how many diners think that way, though, or even register what is a chain and what isn't. And so I think it is interesting when you see this kind of play out of, will it make a difference to people if someone is local? I don't know. It will be interesting to watch.
It's also worth noting that we haven't yet mentioned Nuri Steakhouse, which is likely Dallas's most expensive restaurant build out, also inside of about a 1 mile radius of this exact area that we're talking about. And Nuri Steakhouse was created by the Smoothie King CEO because he didn't have a steakhouse he wanted to take his friends from out of the country to, or even out of the state. He said he started his own because there wasn't one, which is wild as we're naming so many steakhouses in the exact same neighborhood. But yeah, time will tell how this all plays out. Also, Dallas is seeing such an influx of non-steak restaurants that we feel like less of a steak town to me than we used to 10 years ago. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of having better Indian food, Greek food, Korean restaurants, lots of Japanese omakase, many more than we ever did in the past. But will there always be an appetite for a business dinner where everybody orders steaks in Dallas? Probably.
I just thought of like 3 more steakhouses.
Right? We could go around the room and play. What's that game you play where you have to name, you say colors and everybody has to name a color and the last person who can't name one has to
categories.
Drink. Categories. If only we had wine.
Claire, you've put together a story on some of the recent openings in Dallas-Fort Worth, some of which we've been waiting all year for.
There are a lot of things opening right now that have recently opened and stuff that we are kind of keeping track of that's coming down the pipeline really soon. As far as things that have already opened, there's a really cool mix, not only in terms of what they're offering, but also geographic diversity. So one that caught my attention is called Mishi's Chino Boricua Kitchen in Grand Prairie. This is from a restaurateur who's from Houston. This is her first restaurant in North Texas. So Michelle Lau, she grew up as a Chinese immigrant in Puerto Rico to restaurateur parents. She opened her first restaurant, her first Mishi's in Houston in 2021. This restaurant that she has just opened in Grand Prairie is her third restaurant, but first in North Texas. And this is a family-owned restaurant that serves what Puerto Rican people know to be Chinese food. So
That's
it's
interesting.
Yeah, so it's Chinese food translated through a Puerto Rican lens.
And let me ask about the name, Claire. You said Mishi's Chino Boricua Kitchen. I don't know that word, Boricua. Am I saying it right? And what does that mean?
Boricua is the name that you give to Puerto Rican people. It's like, say, American.
Ah, okay. So Mishi's Chino, Chinese, Boricua
From Puerto
Kitchen.
Rico.
from Puerto Rico, kitchen
Yep.
Correct.
in Grand Prairie.
Yes.
I get it. Okay.
And Michi's, I will say, is for Michelle, right?
That's what I'm assuming, yes. So the name points back to the fact that we're talking about Chinese food through the lens of Puerto Rico, which sounds so interesting to me. The menu is a mix like you would expect of things like lo mein and mofongo. So you get a little bit of everything.
Wow. My face is now like the emoji, like the one that with the brain like...
And so this opened in Grand Prairie. It's now officially opened. It opened at the beginning of this month. And Anna, there's other things on this list of new openings that caught my attention as well. One is Rising Tides in East Dallas. This is a neighborhood dive bar that took over a neighborhood dive bar. If you're familiar with the Garland stretch of East Dallas, there's a bar called the Royal Pour that was there for a while in this like intense blue hue, this building.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you drove by it, it surely caught your attention. Royal Pour is now gone, as is the blue paint. Rising Tides took over. This is a bar from Alex Fletcher, who's a pretty well-known name in the Dallas hospitality industry, specifically when it comes to cocktails. And they're keeping it really funky, cool neighborhood dive bar vibes with smash burgers on the menu, still have karaoke nights.
If Alex Fletcher's name is ringing a bell, this is because we interviewed him on this very podcast and published it in early 2024. Alex Fletcher was talking about being a bartender and now a bar owner who doesn't drink himself. And he talked a lot about why and how. And we timed that episode for the beginning of the year when a lot of people are doing dry January or at least maybe rethinking how much they are drinking. And so I'd love to see Alex Fletcher's name back in our newspaper because he's an interesting person in this industry.
Sarah, while I have you, one thing on this list of new openings you wrote about, and it's also right down the street from Rising Tides. This is Bagel Bros. Can you tell us about it?
Yes. So for breakfast, you could go to Bagel Bros, maybe hit up the Arboretum, and then stop at Rising Tides for a cocktail. We've just planned your East Dallas day. That's right. Bagel Bros is a new restaurant in a former wine bar, also on Garland Road. As the name suggests, they sell bagels, and the owners are brothers. They worked at Benny's Bagels together, and one of them even owned Benny's in Lakewood. And they left that business and then opened their own bagel shop not very far away from Benny's in Lakewood. But these two guys are Casa Linda residents, so they are staying in the neighborhood. And they are kettle boiling their bagels for those who are bagel nerds and care about how all this comes together. And the menu is otherwise kind of what you would expect. Probably a dozen flavors of bagels, lots of cream cheeses, veggie, strawberry, honey, almond, apricot, that kind of thing. But if you're a bagel lover like me, this is absolutely worth trying, the newest place in town.
Whatever happened to all of the signs?
Oh, Anna. So 2 months ago, let's say, if you drove around East Dallas, there were these signs, almost like political signs, that said that Bagel Bros was coming soon. It's the way that me and I think several other journalists even heard about it.
It seemed almost ominous, like it's coming whether you like it or not. 'Cause there were so many of them.
Well, you're right. And I would drive around the neighborhood and be like, I wonder who else knows about this because this is new to me. And it's my job to know about new places. So I was like, I wish they didn't have these signs all over the place because now everybody's going to know. And I'm trying to get these guys on the phone. So the signs are gone. And I'm not going to put them on blast, but I think you're not supposed to put out commercial signs like in medians like that. So I think somebody had to make them go away, and I don't know the story there. But from those signs, I called these owners, took a walk through, we took pictures, all that. So their guerrilla marketing worked.
I also think it was a recent decision during the most recent biennium with Governor Abbott signing that into law. So we should see fewer of the We Buy Ugly Houses signs as well.
Yeah, I liked the bagel one better than the ugly houses one, but I guess they all fall in the same bucket.
And you can read about all of these things by visiting dallasnews.com/food. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we are talking about the newest of fall flavors.
Central Market is really into food, like fish flown in so fresh it still has jet lag into food. Our sourdough starter has been around since grunge was a thing into food. We're talking more prime cuts than a greatest hits album into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then we're the HQ for you, whether you're a make every recipe in the cookbook foodie or a my favorite recipe is reheat type who just digs the delectable. No place makes every day more delicious like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Welcome back. In just a minute, we're delving into what might be a shift in the favorite flavor of fall. But first, rating and reviewing our podcast helps other people find it. We hope you'll take a minute to give us 5 stars.
5 stars.
Okay, so I found a report from Sarah Harbor that shows that pumpkin spice might be losing its footing as the flavor of fall. And that's based on DoorDash information that clocks that pecan flavored, or pecan, but it's pecan flavored menu items have jumped 28% year over year. Now, pumpkin spice menu items haven't fallen off, but they didn't grow at all either, which is interesting. So what do y'all think? Is this a good thing?
I will say yes. I love pecans. And pumpkin spice is like, I don't know, it's so sweet for me.
I thought pumpkin spice was kind of done. I didn't know it was still so popular, I guess. But I was kind of like a fair weather pumpkin spice fan. In general, it's like fine to me, but it does not jumpstart my season.
I love pumpkin spice, but I think it's overdone. So I thought we hit peak pumpkin spice. So I'm not surprised that this is dropping. But I'm also kind of surprised that it's pecan.
So where they saw it trending the most and why pecans are interesting is in Texas. And so this research was pegged to the fact that in Texas, pecan is actually more searched in terms of fall flavors than pumpkin spices, which is fascinating to me as a pecan lover. I love pecans. As someone with pounds and pounds and pounds of pecans in my freezer. That being said, please don't make them more expensive.
So Anna, what do you do with pounds and pounds of pecans in your freezer?
I don't do Starbucks things to them because I feel like there's like a Starbucks correlation. Yes. I feel like with the PSL situation, pumpkin spice in general, they've made a business off of it.
Starbucks is Starbucksing the pecan though. Now they have pecans in several drinks that I've said. I have not tried them, but I think our producer Julie has.
I got the pecan crunch oat milk latte recently. And I think it's funny, Imelda, that you said you don't like sweet because it's actually even sweeter than a PSL.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's got like candied pecans on top of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's delicious though. I don't know that it really screams fall to me, but it doesn't surprise me that it might be outselling things like a pumpkin spice latte because it is sweeter and it's pretty much got candy on top.
I feel like pecan, though, makes so much sense with oat milk because I think about putting pecans on top of oatmeal, and it's very similar.
Mm-hmm. Julie, is this drink chunky?
I just gagged a little bit at that thought. No, because it's just like very small chunks of pecans on top, which I have to say I like so much better than the cinnamon that people have been dumping on top of my lattes lately. That's so gross. It's really delicious. And the next time I go, I'm definitely going to get it again. So it does not surprise me. And I think you're right that pumpkin is a little played out right now. I am surprised that this is the replacement. I do think we could blame Starbucks for this.
You know, the other place that pecan really belongs is in butter pecan ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
H-E-B has been making one of their like lactose-free ice creams, and it's like a little bit healthier, and they make a butter pecan one, and I think about it. Like, it's like so good. Go get it. I think they sell it at Central Market too, not just at H-E-B.
I will absolutely get that. My thing about butter pecan is that it's so packed with flavor, but feels somewhat neutral. And we all know that I have a big issue with vanilla ice cream of all brands. It's just not interesting enough to ever be eaten, even on the side of pie. But butter pecan ice cream on the side of any pie I can think of would be wonderful.
I made apple cider blondies over the weekend and did it with butter pecan. That being said,
whoa, yum.
Detour. Here's my question for y'all. If we were going to make our own fall flavor replacement, what would it be? Because I think mine actually probably would be pecan, but now I don't feel special, so I'm upset.
You are special, and it's a great idea.
Mine, I think, would be maple. Just this past weekend, I made Allison Roman's pumpkin maple muffins with brown butter. Brown butter's not in the title, but I think it should be. But the emphasis was on the maple in these muffins, not on the pumpkin, even though they had both. Now, I realized as they were going in the oven that I put significantly more maple syrup than I was supposed to. And it worked out, and they're really good. And it made me realize that I don't reach for maple syrup when I'm baking, but it really made for a great muffin, and I feel like it should be used more in fall baking.
Maple is also so hot right now. If you keep up with any sort of like healthy cooking replacements, everyone uses maple. All of like the health bloggers and like the TikTokers, like they sweeten everything with maple. And it tastes good and it is natural. I think it's not something like in my lexicon though, in the way I didn't grow up eating it, the way that I feel like people I know in the Northeast did. But there's like a Laura Ingalls Wilder book where they made something called maple snow. And I think about it all the time. And so they literally just would go get like clean, fresh snow and like tap a tree and then like have the maple like drain into the snow. And I read about it when I was 8 and I still think about it.
Wow. They make like lollipops, right?
No, I think they just ate it out of a bowl
okay.
like ice cream.
Oh, wow.
Like a
In
snow
bowl.
cone, but maple syrup as your flavoring.
Wow. A wonderful thing about maple is that you can also add it to salty things, like eggs or bacon. It's amazing.
I think we eat maple syrup in my house year round, not just in the fall, because I have pancake kids. They want to eat pancakes on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings. So there's a lot of maple syrup that gets enjoyed in our house. But I agree that it should be in more recipes that we're baking. I was actually just thinking, my kids found a recipe on Instagram that they want to make, which has pureed pumpkin and maple syrup and some chocolate chips and some oats and a couple other things. And it's like you make these healthy-ish, soft little balls that then you can like eat out of the fridge or freezer. I think it's a no-bake recipe. My kids are little, so that's usually safer. And they don't have their own Instagram accounts, if I can just say. They're allowed to use my Instagram to look up baking videos sometimes. I don't want anybody out there like, why are your kids on Instagram? Love maple. My fall ingredient is, no question, sweet potatoes. So we do sweet potatoes year round as well. But once we get into Thanksgiving season, I don't think sweet potatoes need the marshmallows and the sugar and all that. Like I love whipped sweet potatoes with Parmesan cheese and a little bit of pepper, just like eating a sweet potato just the way it came, which in my opinion is pretty perfect.
And sweet enough to me.
Very sweet.
Yeah.
I love a sweet potato gnocchi. I love a sweet potato risotto. But Sarah, would you have a sweet potato latte?
Yes. I'm going to say yes. I think that it needs maple syrup in it now that I'm thinking about it. But I think that could work. Now, have I ever had a sweet potato latte? No, but I'm open to it.
But you could do like a sprinkle of pumpkin spice on top and some candied pecan, and then it'll be the ultimate fall.
It's $1 million idea. Starbucks, where are you?
I have a compliment for that because my fall flavor will be cinnamon. I love cinnamon. Cinnamon tea with milk, it's just for this season.
I do think cinnamon goes on the fictional sweet potato latte with the pecans and the maple syrup. I think you dash some cinnamon on top. I mean, while we're doing it.
Yeah.
I love that we started off being like pumpkin spice is over the top, overdone, too sweet, to now having a sweet potato latte with candied pecans and cinnamon and maple. I just want to note that the humble apple has been very much left out of this conversation, which is okay with me. I feel like it has its time.
I like apples. I also just don't think, similar to maple, that it's something that everyone grew up with. So I think about it as regional. So when I lived in New York, you would always go apple picking to start the season. You would make apple cider donuts, which is why I made an apple cider blondie, because I don't want to make a donut at home, but a blondie's easier. It's also been so done.
Yeah, apple's had its time. Now, you brought up apple cider, though. Like, man, I love a cup of hot apple cider. They have apple cider in a crock pot at the place where we cut down our Christmas tree. And so, like, I associate cold with that crock pot of apple cider. It's not even like a cool one with a spout. It's like you have to use a ladle and put hot apple cider into a paper cup.
I'm just all about the Williams-Sonoma mulling spices, which I'm 100% sure I could figure out how to make myself because it's just like cloves and whole cinnamon sticks and things like that. But that's what I stock up on at an outlet mall. I'm like, those, especially seasonally wrapped ones.
Speaking of making things yourself, my son recently learned in school about apples, apple picking, apple cider. And he came home and told me, Mom, did you know you can make apple cider yourself? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure you can. You can also buy it at the store. And he was like, why would we ever buy it if we can make it ourselves? We have to make it. And I'm ill-equipped. I have no idea how you actually make apple cider.
And he's like, my mom's the smartest person in the world. She knows how.
Yeah, he's like, you do this for a living. You talk about food. Like, surely you can make apple cider. So that's
you
my
are
mission.
Extremely well equipped to do this, Claire. You will be essentially infusing apple juice with spices. You're going to be okay.
In his mind, though, Anna, we're not buying apple juice. We are buying apples and making apple cider from apples.
Get that juicer out.
Yeah.
I did something over the weekend, which was those apple cider blondies, but it involves reducing the apple cider. It didn't click with me, and it should have. You have to hover over apple cider when you're reducing it because it has sugar in it that sticks in the bottom and builds up a film. You shouldn't be watching House of Guinness in the other room because it can burn the sugar really fast. And I haven't had a second kitchen fire after the one on December 28th. But my house smelled of burned apple cider for the entire weekend. And it was like smoky in the house.
No.
And I'm like humiliated because like now my boyfriend thinks I just burn things because it's happened twice in a year.
Also, the cleaning up of scorched sugar on the bottom of a pan. I mean, there are moments where I'm like, should I just toss it?
Yes.
Boiling water, baking soda. You also have to watch that because it will boil over. And I would get tongs.
That's a good tip.
And some steel wool and give it a... That's the technical
Wow.
noise and term for it.
So the apple cider, Claire, sounds harder than we thought.
And that's all the time we have for today. And we want to hear from you. What would you make the flavor of fall? Tell us by emailing us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. And we don't want you to miss an episode. Make sure you're following Eat Drink DFW wherever you find podcasts. Special thanks to our producer, Julie Fisk. For the news, I'm Anna Butler. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.